From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. FBI Director Kash Patel has been removed as the acting chief of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, and has been replaced with the Army Secretary. Three people familiar with the matter said on Wednesday. It was not immediately clear why Patel was replaced by Army Secretary Daniel Driscoll to lead the Justice Department agency that's responsible for enforcing the nation's gun laws. One person familiar with the matter, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss a personnel move, said Patel was removed at the end of February, just days after he was sworn in. Driscoll will remain Secretary of the Army, according to a defense official. This puts a defense leader with an already large job in charge of a domestic law enforcement agency. U.S. defense officials have historically tried to maintain a strict divide between military forces and law enforcement. U.S. troops are not allowed to participate in law enforcement activities on U.S. American soil. They do, however, provide support and intelligence gathering to Custom and Border Protection to help secure the southern border. As Army Secretary Driscoll, age 38, heads the U.S. military's largest service, which has about 452,000 soldiers, including thousands who are deployed all over the world, he also oversees dozens of major weapons, aircraft, and equipment programs worth billions of dollars and is responsible for an Army budget of more than $187 billion. Harrison Fields, a White House spokesperson, said Patel was briefly designated ATF director while awaiting Senate confirmations, a standard short-term move. Meanwhile, an update on the deportations of alleged gang members. Judges in Texas and New York on Wednesday said they would temporarily bar the U.S. government from deporting Venezuelans jailed in parts of those two states, while their lawyers challenged the Trump administration's use of a rarely invoked law, letting presidents imprison and deport non-citizens in times of war. The judges took actions after civil rights lawyers sought to protect five men identified by the government as belonging to the Tren de Aragua gang, a claim their lawyers dispute. But the judges said some others in their judicial districts, similarly situated, would also be protected from deportations relying on the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The judicial moves were the first to occur after the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday ruled the administration can resume deportations, but deportees must be afforded some due process before they are flown away, including reasonable time to argue to a judge that they should not be deported. The rulings did not address the constitutionality of the act. The American Civil Liberties Union is asking the judge in Texas to decide on whether it is lawful to use the Alien Enemies Act. And what about the tariffs? Well, facing a global market meltdown, President Donald Trump on Wednesday abruptly backed off his tariffs on most nations for 90 days, even as he further jacked up the tax rate on Chinese imports to 125%. It was seemingly an attempt to narrow what had been an unprecedented trade war between the United States and most of the world to a showdown between the U.S. and China. The S&P 500 stock index jumped 9.5% after the announcement, but the drama over Trump's tariffs is far from over as the administration prepares to engage in a country-by-country negotiations scheme. Call it what it is. It's a scheme. In the meantime, countries subject to the pause will now be tariffed at 10%. The president hit pause in the face of intense pressure created by volatile financial markets that had been pushing Trump to reconsider his tariffs, even as some administration officials insisted the reversal had always been the plan. As stocks and bonds sold off, voters were watching their retirement savings dwindle, and businesses warned of worse than expected sales and rising prices, all a possible gut punch to a country that sent Trump back to the White House last year on the promise of combating inflation. The global economy appeared to be in open rebellion against Trump's tariffs as they took effect early Wednesday, a signal by the United States president was not immune from market pressures. By early afternoon, Trump posted on Truth Social that because more than 75 countries had reached out to the U.S. government for trade talks and had not retaliated in meaningful ways, I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%, also effective immediately. Trump later told reporters that he pulled back on many global tariffs, but not on China, because people were yippy and afraid due to the stock market declines. He added that while he expected to reach deals, nothing's over yet. If you watch our news videos on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the PEP Radio channel. Be sure to download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. That's the news at this hour. Now back to more music on PEP Radio.